Hi, welcome to the Predator Leg Lock series. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring in Rich, my sparring partner. Rich is going to go down onto his back. I'll start off in his guard position. I'm in his guard. Again, I want to secure his hips with my hips. What I'm doing here is I'm steering his hips with my hips. I'm staying tight against him. When I come down, I always bend my arms. Never attack the man with straight arms. If I attack the man with straight arms, he'll switch his hips, boom, and break mine. That'll be the last time I do that. So what I'm trying to do is teach you a lesson before you learn that kind of lesson. Come down to the guy. Come down with bent arms. Protect yourself. Boom. Now, when I come into the man, I'm making sure that his hips don't go out. His move comes into effect when his hips go away from me. So what I'm going to do is prevent his hips from going away. You see my knees are up tight. My knees are behind his hips, or a little bit beyond his hips to steer him. I come down. If we're down here fighting like this, now what I want to do is pull my hands back up, come up. When I come up, I'm feeling his leg. I'm feeling his leg with my elbow. When I reach the point to where I want, I reach underneath. Now I'm going to step up into the man. My hand comes underneath onto his calf. Here we already have pressure. You see where his foot's behind my armpit. I have his foot trapped in my armpit. I have it secured in the crook of my elbow. I have my hand way underneath on his calf. Now it's already a little bit applied. But what I want to do is apply it fully. Brace his knee. My leg comes up. I brace his knee. I step in between. I come through. Now what we have is your basic ankle lock. It's more pressure against the calf. You can see it here. What I'm doing with my legs is I'm protecting this man here, trying to prevent him from rolling this direction here. If we go this direction, that's okay. My lock's still on. I can still lock my legs. I want to pull down with my legs. Push away. Push his leg away to apply the pressure. As I'm pushing his leg away with my legs, I'm pulling in the opposite direction. I'm straightening out his leg. Now, at this point, this arm, the blade of this arm is up against the calf bone. My shoulder is also pulling his leg away. Pulling away here, I'm pulling up here, I'm pushing down here. That's how this movement works. It's a three-phase movement. Pull, pull, push. And it applies on the back of the man's calf. There are several nerves down there, and you got a whole bunch of veins and an artery or two down there, and it's going to hurt like the dickens, correct? Again, I'm down here. I'm just peeling myself up. As I peel up, you'll see where my arm is separated from my body by his leg. So I just keep it there. I pinch it. I pinch his leg tight. I hook under here. I brace myself. I give myself something to push up on as I step up. Now I'm going to step through here. Boom, boom. Stay tight if you want. Step on the man. Step all the way across the man. Now I come down. As I fall back, this leg locks up here. Again, to secure it. Give it more power, to more pull. I now have two legs pulling against his one leg. My legs are working that way. My upper body's going this way as my arms are going this way. My hips come up. My hips come up to join in the attack against the man's knee. What I'm doing here is I'm pulling against the man's knee joint, but the main part of the pain is here against the muscle in the calf. Again, I squeeze and I pop up my hips. If I look at the ceiling, what that's going to do is stretch me more. Roll your eyes to the top of your head. Your head will follow your eyes. Boom, and the body follows the head. Okay, again, we're down here. Now I'm coming up. I can cause a separation of his legs with my elbow. As I come up, I step through, come down, lock up my hips, bend my head back. Again, I peel myself up. I'm separated by his leg. He's already feeding me this attack. I spread out his leg here. I step up. I brace his knee. I come across. I sit back. I lock up, and I arc. All right, this next move is a progressive move from the last. What we're going to do is initially we'll go for the same move, the same calf lock, but then we're going to lose it. We're going to slide down, hooking the heel with the arm coming across. It's a lot easier on a man that has a shoe. This shoe is like a glove for you. It's like a knot on the end of a rope. What it's going to do, we're here, we step through, we have this lock, this man's fighting it. We slide, as we slide, we turn the toes down. The toes coming down will bring the knee up. Now we hook underneath with our forearm. Our forearm hooks the heel, and this is where all the pressure is applied. I start driving my shoulder down as I curl my elbow up. Again, step up on this move, grafting this man's calf. When I step through, this man's fighting this. If we roll in that direction, what he's going to do, he's going to feed this lock. I slide back, remain calm. This leg slides down, it still stays inside my armpit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm underhooking the heel with my forearm. Come across here, put my back of my arm against his shin. I lock up. What this does is give me leverage for this lock. I shove my shoulder down, raise my elbow. Again, I come up. I lift the man's leg up. I'm feeding myself this man's leg by lifting my leg up. I come underneath. I'm bracing the knee. I step in. I come down. Now when we come down, if he moves over, this arm slides down. I keep his toes in the back of my armpit to secure the move. I'm hanging onto the back of his knee here to prevent him from popping all the way out. This is just an extra little handle here. Now, you see how my hand comes down against my body to slide up underneath of his heel. When it does, this hand comes up towards it. This hand's facing my opponent, so this hand faces me to get this lock. Now, the lock is applied. I shove my shoulder down, I lift this, and to get a little bit more, I just pop my hips into it. All right, this next one is going to be a knee bar from the guard position. I'm in the man's guard. Again, I step up, I hook around the knee. Now what I'm going to do, when I step through, instead of falling that way, I'm just going to continue walking. I'm going to twist, sit down. Now the knee bar is applied. Notice I do not let go of the leg at all. You see where his knee is, you see where my hips are. What I do now is I'll pull back and I'll arc my hips. Again, protect your hands. I step up, I hook. Now I'm stepping up, I'm stepping through. I'm rotating my hips. Now I'm falling down. The knee bar's on. Now what I do, again, shove my elbow down, pop my hips up. Step up, hook the knee. I'm bracing again. Again, I'm using his own body here to brace. I'm spinning over. I sit, come down. Now if you look, you see where his knee is against my hips. His arm's up there in the back of my armpit. I've got him braced here. All I got to do, tear my arm down, arc my hips. That applies the leg lock. If it falls out, you still have it here. Now you pull in again and you pop your hips out. The knee is made to go like this. The knee does not go any farther than that. That's where your knee bar is applied. My hips are against his knee. My joint can go out farther than his joint, especially when I'm pulling back with leverage against his foot. Again, you have two ways to finish this move. You step in, you can remain locked, you come down. This is one way. If it pops out, just hook it, pop in, ride it this way. Again, you come up. This leg's already trapped. I step up with this leg. Again, this leg remains trapped. Now I step through. I remain, I keep this. Instead of falling back like the last one, I just continue to step through. This hand goes. This hand leads. My body follows. This hand hooks. I come down. Now we're on tight. All I got to do is pop my hip forward and I break his knee. Now, in order to make it much more severe, you take this way. You pop the hips. Boom, boom. If it slips through, just hook it again. Boom. Lean back. The more you lean back, the more it's applied, the more it works against the joint. You lean back, you pop your hips forward. All right, this next knee bar is one that Ken Shamrock has made famous in the UFC several times. I am down in the guard position. Man's in my guard. The man tripods up in order to punch me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide my hips over and use his own body against him. I'm going to reach through, hook. You see how my hips are twisting? My hips are twisting in order to propel me through. Now what I do is I'm going to bend my knee inside. This arm here prevents him from stepping back. This knee now comes inside of his thigh. It slips through. This leg comes through here. This knee comes here. I hook it. I trap it with my ear. Now my hips come in. This man's on top of me. What I'm going to do is scoop my shoulders over. If you don't have a shirt on, this works much more effectively without a shirt because of the sweat factor. The sweat will help you slide around more. This man's foot comes up way too high. That's a danger most people make the mistake of. I hook underneath here. I come underneath here. I slide away. Boom. This foot comes over top here. This foot can come here. Notice how I trap this. I use my head as my third hand. I trap it here. I'm holding this here. Now my hips come up. My foot's in his back to hold him down here. My foot here is on his hips. Keep his hips down. Now my hips come up against the joint. Very quick. Again, this man's here. He's punching me. He steps forward to get a little bit more leverage. I slide through. Catch it here, anywhere you want. Slide it back over here. Trap it with your head. Now what you have is his knee in a precarious position where my hips pop in. Always end with the man's knee at your hips. This is where the pressure is applied. His joint is not to go this way. His joint will break when I push my hips into it. What this basically is basically an arm bar against the knee. Same principles of action. This man's on top of me. Steps too high, I slide. See how this knee kicks through? This knee slides underneath into his thigh. There's your movement. See how my hips move? My hips are rotating. At this point, this causes the move. He'll come down, I can step through, anyway. Finish it like this, anyway. The key to this move are your hips. The key to your groundwork, the key to your standing work are your hips. Never forget your hips. When you punch, you can't punch like this. You punch like this. Same thing when you're fighting. You can't wrestle like this. You have to wrestle like this. All your moves come from your hips. All right, the next move is a move that Oleg Taktarov has made famous in the UFC. Rich Moreno, my workout partner, what's going to happen here is he'll have me from behind. Now, generally, what you want to do, pop your hips out and get away. What Oleg does, Oleg kind of suckers people into this move. They get him behind. What he does is step back with this foot, dives down, wraps his arm around this person's leg. As he dives, he tucks his head so that he just doesn't take a mat nap, slamming his face up against the mat. Step back, he'll dive through, hook, come into the leg lock. Oleg probably has a different variation than what I do. That's the key about all these moves. You take the basic fundamentals of a move and you adapt it to your style. Again, he's got hold of me. Step back, I drop, I come down. Now his knee is in my hip region. Now I can do hook, step back, arc my hips, hook this, come around, drive this, separate him. Number of ways to finish this move. Be careful when you do this move. Protect your workout partner. Your workout partner will protect you. If you do this move wrong, your workout partner is going to be disabled. This is not a game. This is a dangerous move. Again, he's here. He's behind me. Obviously, he thinks that he has the upper hand. I step back. I tuck my head. I come underneath. Going through the roll. I stretch him out. When I stretch him out, I'm pulling his leg back, I'm popping my hips up. When this man attacks here, I step back, I curl, come down. What I want to do is try to finish with my hips against his knee joint. You don't want to try and finish over here, you have nothing to the side of his leg. You can pull, you can pop, you can break his knee that way. But ideally, you want to be straight on to his knee, against his joint. You pop your hips up while you pull this down. That applies the pressure on the move. Be careful on the roll. What you can do is you can drive your face directly into the ground, and that is going to end the move right there. What you have to do is roll your shoulders and your head. You tuck your head on the move. You come down like this. Here's the roll. You see how my head is protected. I come through. Boom. We finish up like this. Now, again, I can hook it like that. I can hook it like that. Or I can pull straight. Now, the idea is get my hips popping out while his leg comes back. There's your pressure. I'm curling my feet towards this man's body. I'm pinching. Same principles as with an arm lock. What you do is you squeeze your legs. You curl the back of your legs forward. You pull this back, you pop your hips. Same principles as the armbar. Again, the man has secured me from behind. I take a half or a full step backwards. I see my target. My target's his foot. His foot's in between my feet. I go down, I tuck my head, I reach behind. Here the man is now secured. My hips are up against his knee joint. Once again, the man has secured my body. I take a step, I separate it. I gain my balance. I see my target. My target's his foot. I want to reach down behind his ankle and trap his foot while I'm tucking my head. My head's going in this direction here. I want to land on my shoulder, not my head. I go down. Now my hips come up. All right, this next knee bar is a very quick, very effective. What it is, I'm out in the man's guard position. It's very quick. It's just like a shoulder shrug. I reach between the man's knee, legs, pop up here. Now when it's on my face, it's now applied. What I do is I cup the man's knee, and you see how I'm sitting back on my hips. Now I sit up on my hips. That applies the pressure. I pull in. I'm pulling in as I'm sitting up. I'm using the man's joint against him. I'm here. I'm fighting the man. I fight in between his legs. I hook it. I pop it up. Now I come up. Now you can even lock it like this. Again, just like with the arm bar, where you hook it and you slide up. The same principle here. You can hook it down low, slide it up into the knee joint. We're here at the man. I come up. Always come up with your arms bent. You never want to come up and leave your arms straight. You do, you're going to leave them there. That man's going to take them home, put them on the mantle as a trophy. Come up, fight underneath, hook it, come up. Drive into it. You see how I drive into it? I'm sitting back. As I fight the man, I'm sitting back on my hips. What that's doing is that's drawing it this way. Now what I want to do, I lock up, I draw into him. You see how his knee extends? Boom. It's mine. We're here, we're fighting. Hit him, distract him, come underneath, pop. I trap it. I'm trapping this man's leg with my head. Again, use your head as your third hand. You're here. See how I have it trapped between my shoulder and my head? Now I come up here, I straighten up, I pop in. You can pop in like this, you can lock it like this. Whatever's comfortable. Take this move, adapt it to your style. This next one's highly effective on the street against an untrained opponent. Again, you're here. You hook underneath. You shrug it by. Now you step up. I'm maintaining position on the man's knee. What I'm doing now is I'm reaching over, hooking it, working it against its own joint. What I can do now is I can drop this knee, come to this knee, put it on. you see all the pressure goes against the joint. This joint of the knee is made to go forward and backwards, not sideways. I stole this move here from Gene LaBelle. And Gene LaBelle is the greatest grappler in the world. If anybody knows about joints and going against them and wrestling, it's Gene LaBelle. What it's doing here, you're passing here, you step over, maintain position with the knee, step over here. Now, this one works like this. This will break the knee very quickly. Again, I'm in between the man's guard. Reach up, shrug it by. Maintain position on this man's knee. Step on top, come over top here. See how I'm hooked here. Now what I'm doing is I'm moving this way. You can use your whole body to move this way. I maintain control of the man's knee right here. You see how it turns, how it will break. This knee's made to go like this, not made to go like this. This knee will pop very quickly. That man won't be robbing anybody for a long time. Again, we're here, hop it here, slide over here, boom, boom. Either way. You maintain, put your foot in his groin, your knee in his groin, put your knee in his ribs. Turn his knee. What you want to do is you want to bend it to apply the pressure. If it's straight, it's not going to bend as properly. You can bend a little bit more at the hip. You keep it bent here, boom. So you keep it bent, you push into the man, now you come sideways on it. Again, I come here, I shrug it over. I can brace him here. Maintain knee control, step over here. I can put my knee in his groin. I can stop him from moving there. What I want to do is bend his knee. The more his knee is bent, the better this move works. Because now I'm moving sideways completely. If his knee is extended, I'll be working against the hip. It's still going to have a little bit of pain, but not like if the knee is bent. I'm blocking it here. Now I'm moving sideways. All right, this next one is when the man's already flat. You won't get in this position a whole lot in the UFC because most of the people fight off their back. But if it happens to be in a street situation, what you can do, what I'm doing here is I'm maintaining my balance over this man's hips here. My hips over his hips, my balance over his balance. Again, I'm driving his head down with my elbow. What I'm going to do now is you see where my leg is here. My leg's securing this leg here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over here. My heel will kick into the side of his leg, thus bring it up. When it does, now I'm in total control. You see how his leg's up in the air. What I'm going to do now is slide back down, hook this foot underneath this foot, applying the pressure. I raise my foot, stretching his leg. Now, I have hooked this leg with this leg. What this does now is I'm maintaining pressure against his body, against the top of his head. I arc down. I'm lifting up as I'm driving my hips down. Now, to give him a little bit more pain for your pleasure, reach down, grab his face. Arc up his face. Now what you're going to do is you're trying to pull his head to your feet. Just like a bow and arrow. Okay, the same situation. I'm controlling the man's head. You control the man's head, you control his hands, you control his hips. I'm down here. This foot steps over here, kicks in. I lift up his leg with my heel, coming up in this area here. A nice little kick, we'll loosen it up, I drag it through. I sink it. When I sink it, you can reach back and have a little bit of extra added leverage. Now, this foot here goes into the crook of my knee over here. Now you see how his leg's already lifted up? The pressure's already there. What I'm doing is I'm keeping him down over here. Lift through here, grab his face here, arc, reach here, grab his face, arc, reach through, grab his arm, arc. Most of the pressure's already on the leg. We're cranking on that leg. All I gotta do is drive my hips down, lift my foot. Now just to be a little bit more nastier is when you attack the face. Again, I'm on top of the man. If you're straddling the man or if you're between his legs, what you want to do is maintain control of his head. Now I step over, I dig in, I've got the foot up in the air. I reach into the crook of my right knee. I'm here. I curl up my right leg. As I curl up my right leg, I'm lifting my hips, I'm driving into his head. Now, to add a little bit more play, grab his face, hook his face, lift your hips. Try and draw his foot and his head together through the back. You see how his leg is up off of the ground. My leg is in deep. I'm up here. Get my hips into it, drive my hips down, lift my legs. Thanks for joining the Predator Foot, Leg, and Ankle Lock series. If you're out on the street, the average man is not aware of his joints below his hips. Attack that area. That way you take away his feet, he can't chase you. Always protect your sparring partner. Your sparring partner will protect you. Work hard. Thank you and good luck.